When we're young, we live under the illusion that our parents will always be there, sitting by the porch, calling our names from the kitchen window, waiting at the dinner table. Their presence feels permanent, like the sun that rises every morning without fail. We think their laughter will always echo through the same walls, their footsteps always familiar down the hall. We tell ourselves, "I'll visit soon." It sounds harmless, almost comforting, as if time will wait patiently for us to keep that promise. We assume tomorrow will look just like today, that nothing will change between now and the next visit. But time, quiet and unhurried, has a way of moving faster than we realize. Soon becomes later, later becomes someday, and someday all too easily becomes never. We get caught up in the rhythm of our own lives, meetings, deadlines, errands, exhaustion. The days blur into each other until weeks slip by unnoticed. Work piles up. Responsibilities grow heavier. We tell ourselves we'll call tomorrow, we'll stop by after this busy season. There's always a reason to wait, always a plan to postpone. But behind those delays, love quietly waits, patient, forgiving, but longing to be remembered. The phone rings less, the visits become rare. We start recognizing our parents' voices not from memory, but from the sound of their voicemail. We promise ourselves we'll make up for it. Next weekend, next month, next holiday. Yet life, in all its noise and motion, keeps pulling us away. And so those small missed moments, a Sunday meal, a simple chat, a shared laugh, begin to fade into the background. Each one feels insignificant at the time, but together they become years. Years we can't get back. One evening, without planning, I decided to stop by my parents' house. No reason, no warning, no occasion, just a quiet pull in my heart that said, "Go." The drive felt strangely nostalgic, the streetlights familiar but distant. When I arrived, the porch light was on, glowing softly like a memory that refused to fade. Through the window, I saw the same curtains that had hung there since I was a child, gently swaying with the night breeze. Inside, the air smelled of home, a mixture of cooking, warmth, and time. The radio played softly in the background, the same old station my dad used to listen to while fixing things in the garage. My mum was setting the table, humming to herself, while my dad stirred something on the stove. The sight was so familiar it almost broke me, like stepping back into a moment I didn't realize I'd been missing. When they saw me, both of them froze for a heartbeat. Then their faces lit up, eyes wide, smiles stretching like sunlight after a long rain. It wasn't surprise that filled the room. It was joy, pure and unfiltered. "Oh, look who's here," my mum said, her voice trembling between laughter and disbelief. My dad wiped his hands on a towel and came over, that slow, steady grin spreading across his face. "Didn't think we'd see you tonight." There was no special occasion, no birthday, no holiday, no plan. Just me, their child, standing in the doorway. And somehow that was more than enough. I sat down at the table while they fussed over me, offering food, pouring tea, asking if I'd eaten. It felt like nothing had changed, and yet everything had. I realized how long it had been since we simply sat together like this. The dinner wasn't fancy, just rice, soup, and a few dishes my mom always made, but it tasted like comfort, like all the years of care that couldn't be measured by recipes or time. My dad talked about the neighbor's new dog. My mom laughed about how the garden was growing wild again. The conversation was ordinary, yet it carried a tenderness that filled the entire room. As we talked, I looked around the kitchen, the clock that never quite worked, the photos on the fridge, the soft hum of the refrigerator. Everything was so familiar, and yet I'd almost forgotten how it felt to belong there. That night I didn't stay long, maybe an hour, maybe less. But the way my mom held my hand when I stood to leave, that gentle squeeze, the silent thank you in her eyes, stayed with me long after I drove away. On the way home, I kept thinking, it didn't take much to make them happy. No gifts, no grand gestures, no perfect timing. Just showing up. Just being there. Parents don't need much from us. They've already given us everything. Time, love, patience, sleepless nights, years of quiet sacrifice. What they ask for in return is something far simpler, our presence. A visit, a laugh, a shared cup of tea, the kind of things that don't cost money but carry the weight of love. The kind of moments that say, I still remember, I still care. We often think love needs to be loud, wrapped in gifts or celebrated with milestones. But real love, the kind that lasts, is often quiet. It's in the unplanned visits, the long conversations, the soft "be safe" at the door. Because one day the chairs at that table will be empty. The porch light will still glow, but there will be no one waiting behind it. The voices that once filled the house will fade into memory. And in those moments, we'll wish for just one more ordinary day. One more chance to sit and listen, to laugh at the same old stories, to say thank you without rushing. Time doesn't warn us when something will be the last time. It just moves, quietly, steadily, until what was once ordinary becomes sacred. I think about that night often, how a simple visit became a reminder of what truly matters. It wasn't the meal or the talk itself, it was the feeling of being home. Sometimes I wonder how many people are sitting right now, waiting by the window for someone who promised to visit soon. Parents, grandparents, old friends, waiting with patience only love can hold. We often chase big dreams, big moments, big achievements, but in the end it's the small, consistent gestures of love that mean the most. A knock on the door, a shared laugh, a warm hug before goodbye. Life gives us endless opportunities to show love, but it doesn't guarantee we'll have endless chances to take them. That's the quiet truth we learn too late. So don't wait for holidays to bring flowers or call home. Don't wait for the calendar to tell you it's time. Every day is an opportunity to reconnect, to say, I was thinking of you. Visit them while their smiles still greet you at the door. Call while their voices still answer. Sit with them while their stories still flow freely. These are the gifts time can never return once lost. Love doesn't need perfect timing. It doesn't need a reason. It just needs today, the willingness to show up and say, I'm here. Maybe love is simply presence, the quiet decision to be where your heart already belongs. Maybe that's what family really is, showing up again and again without needing a reason. The next time you think of calling but hesitate, don't. The next time you drive by their street and wonder if you have time, stop. The next time you feel that ache of missing someone, let it move you into action, because someday those chances will be gone. And what will remain are the moments you did choose to make, the dinners you showed up for, the hands you held, the words you said before it was too late. Life is short, but love stretches it, filling the gaps between days with meaning. And in the end, the greatest gift we can give the people who raised us is simple: time. So go, call them, visit them, sit down and listen. Watch how their faces light up just to see you. That's love, unspoken, unwavering, eternal. Because love doesn't wait for perfect timing. It just waits for us to remember. Don't let soon become never. Don't let time steal what presence can still give. Love them now, while you can, while they're still here, while today is still yours to share. Because love doesn't need a reason. It just needs today.